Hey everyone, it's Satoshi. I haven't made a video in a while, but have gotten a few requests to make one. And so I just played a fun game and thought it would be a good one to review. Today I'm going to discuss a strategy that I'm calling high efficiency. The main idea behind the strategy is that within Splendor, there are some cards that are more efficient than others. And if you can reserve or buy the more efficient cards faster than your opponent, you will win the game. So starting off with this board here, we actually see that there are a number of highly efficient cards. And so an example of a highly efficient card you can see is here on the top row. We see that there is a 7 black for 4 and a 7 green for 4. Those are what I would call the most efficient cards. As you know, it's 7 gems for 4 points. Whereas you can see, on a strict gem cost perspective, the card beside it, which is, a total of 14 gems, even though they are different ones, 14 gems for 3 points. So that's what I mean by highly efficient. Basically the cards that cost the least amount of gems. So on the top row, there are, 3 out of 4 of these are highly efficient, which I would call the 2 4s slightly more efficient than the 5, but the 5, the pointer, is pretty much on par. In the second row, I would call all of these highly efficient cards, with probably the first 2 twos, the 5 white and the 5 black, being slightly most efficient, the 3 6 being a little less efficient than the most efficient, and then the 2 4 1 2 as a little less efficient, but in general all of these cards are super efficient. And in the bottom row, we see 2 super efficient cards on the bottom, the 3 green and 3 blue. So that's how you identify highly efficient cards, basically the cards that have the least amount of gems. So now the question is, how do we play this board with all efficient cards? I think with this board, it's pretty obvious that the efficiency strategy is the right way to go because there are so many efficiency cards. I'm playing against Love Pow Pow, who is a very strong player, and I have played many times. And so he's going to obviously know this as well, and it's going to be a battle for the efficiency cards. So as I'm looking over this board, I'm thinking about pretty deeply, well, what's the best possible card here to pick? I will actually give you a chance to pause the video now for you to think about what's the best card to start with and to save. So I'm going to start by saving one of these cards. So I'll give you a chance to think about what you would save here. So feel free to pause it. All right, I'm going to now go through my answer. So it's clear to me that on the board, black is obviously a dominant color for 3 of the highly efficient cards in the higher ranks. Given that, I think that taking the black gem on the bottom row is the best play. So that's what I do first. I go to take that, and I unlock another gem, which is kind of good for Love Pow Pow because it's pretty similar to the one I just got. So he has access to that too. I thought that the second best card to choose is the 2 5 white, also because it's a black gem and because it's a highly efficient card itself. And I actually thought he was going to take that here, but instead he just takes gems. A blue, green, and black. I go ahead and take gems as well, and we, take the resources here. Nothing too surprising. It looks like he's going after the 3 white, which he is. But that gives me an opportunity to take the 2/5 white, which I do. And I think that I actually ended up getting the two most valuable cards on the board from the beginning. And so that does give me a pretty big advantage. He saves the 2 green, 2 white. It's interesting that he saved it because he actually could have purchased it. But seeing as I just took that white card, he doesn't want to put white back into the pool yet so that I can use it. So he saves it. He also, if he's going to take this 3 white later, then that will be cheaper for him anyways in the future. So it's a good move to save it rather than buy it there. Now I'm in a position where I think I'm going to save another card. Now that I have these 2 black cards stored up, this second high efficient card, the 5 red, I think is going to be important. So I save that one. And another high efficient card comes up, the green. I think he goes ahead and buys the white there. Yep. So as you can see, we're both pretty focused on the most efficient cards on the board. I go ahead and play the 5 white card. He saves the 4 red card, and at this point, obviously he's going to be a little heavier on white here, and in seeing that, I counter him a little bit by taking this 4 white card. I don't really need to do that because I'm actually already pretty ahead, but this card is really efficient, and even though I don't really have the stack to play it right now, regardless, it's going to be a card that will be useful in the future. And plus, this is kind of the only, if he's going sort of long on white, this is really the only card on the board currently that benefits that strategy. So I just take that away from him, leaving a non-efficient card in its place. So he's forced to take 2 red here. So he's kind of being pushed back while I'm pretty much advancing with every move. Then I play the 3 green that I took at first. And then he plays 2 green, 2 white. This gives me the opportunity to just save. Now that I've solidified my 2 black sources and I have 2 black gems, I'm in a pretty safe spot to save what I think is the best card for me in the future, which will be this 7 black. So I save that. It's replaced with the 7 blue. He builds. I build the red card that I went for earlier. And he is going after this 3 red here. I could have saved it. It could have made sense for me. But because he had already hoarded all the reds, it would have been kind of a dead card for me. So I'm basically allowing him to take that. But he has to expend quite a few moves to go after that. And I already have 4 points. So here it's actually replaced by this 4 green black card, which is kind of one of the best cards for me right now. But because I already have 2 stored cards here, because of potentially earlier trying to block his white card here, which might have been a mistake, but because of that, I can't really. It's risky for me to save the green card now because I don't have any of the resources really available to buy this, and if I save it now, I could just get stuck. So I can't save it. I can try to build towards it, which I'm doing right now. He plays his red card. I'm, slowly trying to build against that black card. He collects the green, and even here, I have an opportunity to save it. But again, I don't have, now that he's saved 2 green as well, I don't have an available resources to go after this to get this. So if I save it, I could be stuck on my saves because I wouldn't really be able to play any of the cards in my hand, which would be a dangerous position. So I can't do that. Mm, he buys the green card, and this is obviously extremely lucky for me. Yeah, like this is probably the best card I can get at this point because I'm building towards black. So obviously I immediately take it, and it's replaced by another pretty lucky card for me because I can buy this. It's another hyper efficient card that I can buy. So this here is also obviously a super hyper efficient card because it costs only 3 and in 2 different colors. So it's actually even easier to buy than the ones that are just pure 3. And so that was another lucky card for me. He's now saving. He obviously has to save this green card because it's just. I mean, he has to. There's really no way he can win if I buy that card. So he saves it. I can buy the green. So that was really lucky that I got those 2 in a row, and I think I was already ahead because I got to have the first 2 saves. But that really put me even more ahead. He collects. I play the black card that I saved. He collects. And yeah, at this point, I have 3 black gems, and there are even 2 more black gems on the table that I can easily buy both of them. So it's pretty safe for me to go all in and take the 5 as well. I'm pretty confident that I'm going to be able to play both of these, especially as I have 2 black gems in my reserve as well. So once I save that, I'm in a very commanding lead with the 2 black gems here. He goes for the blue. I'm not sure why he's going for that. I think it's just his only strategy now is to see if he can win from the bottom row. I think that was his mentality. And I go ahead and buy. I use a gem to buy this bottom black card. It's worth it because I would have been using it to fulfill a black anyways, but by buying the black gem and I have these 2 stored, it's basically like I'm getting 2 black gems for 1. So I get to pick up that guy. And as you can see in my hand, if I'm able to play out these entire cards, which they kind of build towards each other, I'm getting to my 15 points. So at this point, I already have my end game pretty laid out in front of me. I just need to build all of these cards in order. Obviously going with the 4 first, the 5 second, and then the 2 last because it's 4 white and uses the 2 white from the 4 and the 5. So it's pretty straightforward from here. Obviously got kind of lucky too with those two draws in the bottom row. This opened up, which is a really good card for me. And it would be actually very tempting to just take this green card. But if I think about it, it's not that useful for me because it doesn't really advance me. I already have 15 points in my hand, and I don't need the extra point, even though this is would be a really nice take to take. And yeah, so I thought about it, but I decided I didn't to take it. I go ahead and play the black card, and yeah, again, this is pretty straightforward. I just go ahead and finish off the game by playing out the cards in my hand. Yeah, so that is an example of the high efficiency strategy. And yeah, I mean, it's probably the most popular strategy within the competitive scene right now is just going after the most efficient cards that you can. So you can see of the cards that I picked, every single one of these cards except for this black card is what I would call a high efficiency card. So yeah, I mean, the board was filled with high efficiency cards, and I was able to scoop most of them up. And that is the strategy. So as you can see, I made 15 points with just 10 cards. And that's generally how a high efficiency strategy works, is you're playing low amount of cards, the most efficient ones, and you're just ordering them in a way so that they can even be more efficient. And you're using your reserves a lot. And so yeah, if you haven't tried the strategy out yet, give it a go. Just start by stealing the most efficient cards on the board and playing them. That's a good way to start. And as you practice more, you'll get more nuanced on how to stack them properly. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this video. Don't know when I'm going to make another one. Work's been pretty busy, but hope this is helpful. All right. Have a good one, everyone.